Each and every one of the 30 classes I taught at Maple River was filled with an assortment of personalities. The graduating class of 2002 was no exception. During their time at Maple River, they witnessed 9/11, saw dramatic technological changes, but got to watch Hollywood at its finest. While there are certainly many stories to tell, today we are going to visit with a former CERTine and NHS officer to find out what she did with all that leadership experience. This video is sponsored by Maggie J's, where fresh and flavor come together. Bash CRT Insurance, with offices located in Amboy and rural Mapleton, is your full-service insurance provider. They specialize in crop and farm property insurance while also providing coverage for any personal or commercial exposure you might need assistance with. Whether you are shopping your current rates or looking for coverage on a new opportunity, give Jeff, Derek, or Nathan a call today for professional and prompt service for all your insurance needs. So why don't we start off first? Describe yourself in high school. What kind of kid were you?
Oh, I was a rule follower that enjoyed being goofy. I was voted class clown in the yearbook my senior year. I enjoyed being goofy. I was in basketball and volleyball. I didn't do much for a social life outside of that. I also worked as a waitress and nannied and babysat outside of school hours. So I kept myself busy and I kept myself to a high standard in the classroom and outside of the classroom. So that was me.
Yeah, so here we are, decades, plural, later. Uh, how have you stayed the same? In what ways are you still Gretchen Maurer?
Still that rule follower, and I still like to get things done way ahead of time. I still like to if I am given a task, I like to accomplish it, but to the best of my ability. Those are sometimes to a fault, where people are like, just relax, it doesn't have to be that. And so actually my staff just recently joked that some people are getting a little too Gretchen.
A little too Gretchen. I think we might have said that back in 2002 also. All right. Now let's keep it in 2002 for just a little bit longer before we find out all the new things about you. So do you have any memories of high school life that have kind of stuck with you through these years? Sometimes they can be positive, sometimes they can be negative, but any of those that like, boy, that was left a mark on you years and years later.
I think our junior year, we lost a classmate. It was during volleyball season. And that, through the process of that loss and mourning that, we lost other classmates through different treatment and different things that they needed for health and recovery. And that has always stuck with me as a big change in our graduating class and in the emotional connections of my classmates.
Gotcha.
That sticks with me as a huge memory. Otherwise, most of my memories come from National Honor Society and sports. I remember working with Mr. Fickett first with NHS, and then with you.
So after 2002, why don't you just kind of take me through kind of the changes in your life? Where are you at now? Kind of what sort of steps did you go through?
Sure. After I graduated high school, I moved to St. Paul, and I went to Concordia University in St. Paul, and I was there for 4 years. I double majored in elementary education and early childhood education, and then I got a minor in Lutheran theology, which allowed me to be the Lutheran teacher, to have the Lutheran teacher diploma. And then from there, I moved down. I got a call from the in the church system to a school in Denison, Iowa, called the Zion Lutheran School, and that was for teaching first grade. I accepted that call, got here in August of 2006, and taught first grade for Zion Lutheran for 17 years.
17 years now. Wow.
Well, and then our school went through a name change, and now it's called Unity Ridge Lutheran School. And I'm still teaching first grade, but for the last 2 years, I've been teaching at Unity Ridge Lutheran School. 3 years ago, I started a journey to get my master's, and I got my master's in administration. Just finished that this past August. And so that I had an opportunity to be the administrator for our school this past year. I felt like our school needed out of the box, not someone who'd been here for years. And so I did not take that position, and I still just kept teaching first grade. However, in November, I got a call from district, and they said they asked me if I would help start a Lutheran school in Perry, Iowa, as administrator on record. And so I took that job. And so
Wow.
I'm teaching first grade still, and I'm also starting a school. We won't actually open until fall of 2026.
Wow.
Yeah, really involved a lot of uh, the Iowa Department of Education and a whole bunch of different entities that I have to connect with, and I'm learning a lot.
Why don't you talk about how you've changed those since high school? We talked about the things that are the same, but obviously, here you are ready to, administer a school. So what are some like new areas of growth for you?
So I definitely have become really good at listening to other people and understanding different points of view. I've become really good at um, asking questions to understand better and really to focus more outside of myself and more on the needs of other people. Um, Other things I've grown in playing guitar. That's
Really?
something I
Okay.
picked up.
So are you shredding it Eddie Van Halen style, or is this more acoustic?
So I play a classical acoustic guitar. My students think I'm a rock star, but I really am not. I have fun, but I'm an amateur.
All right. Now, you talked a little bit about where you're at professionally. Why don't you just kind of give family updates, whether you want to talk about like your immediate family or your extended family, from Good Thunder?
Yeah. So my immediate family, I met my husband shortly after I moved here when my motorcycle needed to be fixed, and he ended up being a mechanic. And his aunt was the kindergarten teacher, and she just said, "Hey, my nephew's a mechanic," and so I was able to connect with him. And then for about 6 months, we hung out as a friend group and everything. But then we dated a long time. We got married in March of 2012. And he's 10 years older than me, so I had a lot of breaking to do. But shortly after we were married, then we had a family. Our oldest was born a year after we were married, so we have a 12-year-old. Actually, I have a picture right here. Here is my
There we
family.
go.
That's my husband, Matt. And then our oldest is Zeke. He's 12. And Amos is 10. Silas is 9. And then our daughter, Ada, is 7. And so we had our crew ended up having 4 kids who were 4 years old and younger. So
Oftentimes with these stories, I think of, because I think of you as
18-year-old high school seniors still, right?
Mhm.
And all of these seniors that I've met through the years, they've got all these big plans and off they go to conquer the world. Any unexpected or unplanned moments that were kind of, in your life journey?
Yeah, definitely. 2010, I was probably the prime single, kind of living my life, working. I was coaching volleyball for the public high school, um, and it was in July, and I was on a home visit. I was going to visit one of my students that was going to be in my class the next year, and I was lost. So I pulled off the road and made a phone call on my cell phone. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, you're in the right spot. You just went to the wrong side of the road." So I turned around and I stopped at the stop sign. And then I pulled out in front of a semi and I was T boned. I broke my neck in 4 places and I broke 6 ribs. And I have a huge chunk of time there that I don't remember at all. Um, but even from that, I I have a lot of fuzzy, foggy kind of memories from for before that, and especially into high school and my childhood years. Just I think it just helped me and my husband decide that it's time to move from focus on work, focus on the grind, and then move beyond that. Of course, there's always the just the gratitude and the thanks to God for surrounding me with his angels. The wreckage of the vehicle, the semi was at least a hit on the passenger side, and I was laying on the passenger window when the rescuers got to me. And if you see the our vehicle, like right around where I was sitting, it's like there's a steel cage, but there's everything else around me just crashed in. So that's the only part of the vehicle that would have survived is where I was sitting. So it was I got a helicopter ride from that.
So looking back and where you are now, what sort of goals do you feel you've checked off your list?
To definitely being a Lutheran school teacher. That was a huge goal of mine. Having a family, husband and kids was my number one goal. And my biggest pride and joy. And I'm so humbled I get to be their mom. So um, I guess being able to share Jesus with the students that come into my classroom every day and realizing more and more each year how important that role is and how blessed I am is a goal that I think I had back when I was 18, but I don't think I fully realized it. I mean, I think I'm going to continue realizing it more and more every year. Um, what what a privilege and honor it is to be able to teach kiddos and to connect with their families and the people that I work with. Um, I guess right now my main goals, or the only goals that I can remember that are important, is having a faith in Jesus and being able to share that with others.
Wonderful.
That's
Now, again, I'm officially old. You're not there yet, but looking forward, then,
yeah.
do you have any sort of like dreams remaining? Some midlife changes. It sounds like you're about to get into administration. Anything beyond that?
Yeah. Um, right now, my biggest goal is to redefine my job as a teacher and the different hats I wear in our congregation. My kiddos are getting pretty involved in athletics and academics and things outside, and they have sacrificed a lot of their time to help me and volunteer time with me. And I would like to become really the best mom I can be and the best wife I can be. That's it seems like not a very ambitious goal, but it is a huge goal of mine. Also, I would love to see where God puts me in administration. I'm starting this new role as a administrator for a school in Perry, I think as a stepping stone, but maybe eventually I will be an administrator for this current school. Um, kind of the, I'm just excited to see where the doors open up because right now I'm just kind of letting God lead.